Slovenia rolling out. They have the favourites with Rurambikanye, backed up by a brilliant squad. It looks like they've got, well, rather an abundance of riches, you might say. It's the same for Great Britain. Tom Pidcock has got a very good chance of making this an extraordinarily special day for Great Britain. Question of endurance. Well, he got himself through a Grand Tour, of course, and finished third in La Vuelta. Described it as the best result of his burgeoning career. Denmark, you kind of look for here, and you have Matthias Schellmoser, a man who is an Ardennes specialist, and that may well indeed be something that will help him deeper into this day. He took a great, of course, strive forward in Glasgow. This is the Amaharo Stadium, the Freedom Stadium, which is part of our farewell to arms today, I think you might say, once they've actually dealt with the circuit. Now, we're going to be doing 9 laps before we go out for a secondary circuit, but it's going to be primary amongst our thoughts because it is extraordinarily tough. We're taking on the mountain itself, and indeed then we'll make our way all the way back and do a final 6 laps before indeed we have our champion. Tom Pidcock just hoving at the back. The crowds are out in force. We're waiting for the flag. Indeed, our starter here, they're all massing around. And of course, Slovenia, I guess, are going to be on policing duties. Watch out for their, indeed, vivid green as it stands at the moment. Ivo Oliveira for Portugal might well get lively at the beginning. I've got a feeling, though, that somebody like Ahmed Orkan from Turkey might be somebody who gets himself off and up the road in very, very short order. Let's find out, shall we? Because we are racing. The 91st World Championship Men's Elite Road Race is underway, and how lively is this? If you want to get us to talk about you, then you're going to have to get up the road if it's not going to be your day ultimately. And some of those who are further down the pecking order now find themselves in a real battle to get up the road and indeed make a statement early on. This is a very different complexion, especially with the different distance that we are rolling with at the moment. This is an extraordinary long way home. We have Red Walters, who has head off up the road. Lives in the south of England, but Red Walters is, of course, representing Grenada, and he is solo up the road at the moment. He's got an awful long way to go, Brian Smith, if he wants to make this stick.
I can't hear you.
Well, Red Walters has decided to make a statement very, very early on here, Brian.
Yeah, it was somebody that I'd highlighted. You know, we talked before we came on air, and there's a lot of riders have come here that are more than happy just to come and represent their country. And at the end of the day, they want to make a statement. We saw it yesterday with the women's race. We had one sole attacker, and at the end of the day, you know, it didn't come to fruition, but for the moment anyway, we've got a very relaxed peloton. You can see that Eddie Dunbar down the back for Ireland. But there's a long, long way to go in this race. And I think from all the road races that we've had so far in this Rwandan World Championships, the word patience is kind of jumped out to us. But for Red Walters from Grenada, well, it's not about patience. He plies his trades in the UK, lives in the south of London area, and he's prolific in the domestic races in the UK. But it's a forlorn attack from Red Walters, and he's looking around, he's wanting company. Such is the tradition of the World Championships that normally we find that we have a breakaway that goes away. Riders that want to put their kind of mark on, riders that really don't think they can feature in the medals come the end, but they want to put a mark on the race for themselves, for their country. You know, Red Walters is from Grenada, is the sole representative. So we saw this yesterday, Carlton, with Austria, and we're seeing it again today. But you can see from the front of the peloton, there's a few other riders and teams wanting to try and get in this breakaway. Whether it'll be allowed, we'll have to wait and see, because we have got a maximum of 8 riders from a lot of the kind of stronger nations. Unfortunately for the Netherlands, they are starting with 5. Sam Omen is a non-starter, so they did have 6, they now have 5. Just a little bit of illness in that team, we believe, and it's hit them throughout in a lot of the other races. But with Pogačar here, Slovenia not only have 8 riders, with defending champion, they have 9.
Do you know what? If I was Red Walters and I'd got family here, I'd be asking him to take a picture quickly.
Yeah, well, I know Red Walters kind of personally myself. I did a programme in the UK not that long ago, and I first met him about 5-6 years ago. He's a lovely lad, and he just wants to make his own mark on the race. He knows he's not going to feature come the end, but why come here? Yeah,
well, come here to make a statement, and that's precisely what he's doing. Thanks to the City Hall. This is where the great burgers, of course, other foods are available, but the great burgers.
Privilege here to be among the riders who will be starting today, and we are looking forward to having a good day out, and we see how it goes.
But you're excited. You want to give it a go?
Of course, I'll give it a go. I'll give everything I can. You never know. Yeah.
What kind of atmosphere can we expect from today?
Good atmosphere. The weather is good, but somehow it looked like it would rain later on in the day. We're out. We're gonna do what we have to do.
And a lot of people on the side of the road cheering.
Yes. And the good thing about Rwanda, they have big crowds. They don't care who is riding. They just keep cheering. And that's the morale of cycling. And I'm happy that the other countries have a taste of what Africa is.
I think for all the African riders, myself included, it's possibly the first in my career, maybe one of the last opportunities to have this. So, just trying to take it all in, and home ground advantage.
It's also, I suppose, very inspiring for a lot of young riders who want to become professionals from Africa.
Yes, I think putting this on the world stage, it gives the children in Africa dreams, and the sky's the limit. So keep chasing those.
Thank you very much, Byron. Thanks.
Byron Munton on his own, as indeed so many riders are, including Red Walters, who's up the road at the moment. A trio of chasers engaged at the moment. Let us see indeed what sort of fighting force we're going to establish here. They're just breaking off the front of the peloton. This is a lively start to a very, very long day, Brian.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit more lively. I've seen, really a lot of attacks in previous World Championships. A lot of the kind of smaller nations trying to get themselves in a breakaway. It's only one rider, Red Walters. We've got 2 or 3 riders trying to come across to him. I just love this Granada kit. Very much stands out. Very colourful. Red Walters trying as hard as he can to get himself in the breakaway, to make a name for himself. He's come here not to possibly try and win the World Championships, but to get his name, his country out there, and we're starting to see some of the other countries starting to get involved now.
Yeah, more principals as well. Switzerland extraordinarily active as they have been throughout these World Championships. They were very, very busy yesterday in the women's elite race, and in fact looked like they had the master plan, great strategy for the entire course. They come here with Jan Christian, Mauro Schmidt, Mark Hershey as well, for somebody who used to shine extraordinarily brightly when it came to indeed the classics, and it's got that feel about it today. Even beyond classics distance, however, at 273 kilometres in total. That is an awful long way before we get home. Don't even think about it if you're of a sensitive disposition, because this is going to be a toughie. Denmark also want to come and join the fun, and planting rider in the break is the Netherlands as well. And here we are, Ivo Oliveira of Portugal, Meyerhofer, Walters, Using. These are big names that are starting to emerge already. Ivo Oliveira, possibly the main favourite, I would have thought, for Portugal. They have Antunes, Julião and Morgado. It is very much a classics feel today, a massive celebration, of course, not only of the African continent, but of the great nation of Rwanda as well, a country that has reinvented itself, I think it's fair to say, in a wonderful way since their trauma and troubles of 1994 and the genocide. There's Red Walters. He's had his moment. Wising Oliveira and Meyerhofer. These are capable of setting a very, very decent pace. So much so that others are worried about this. The Palestine is only at a margin of 10 seconds, as you can see, and it's being dragged along, elongated, if you will, on the first climb of the day. They better get used to this, Brian, because we have over 5,000 metres of altitude gain, 5,393 to be precise.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see that some of the kind of stronger cycling nations are trying to get themselves in this breakaway, such as the difficult start to this race. Normally we see a lot of the really small nations, but we are talking about Switzerland, we're talking about Germany, Portugal, you're talking about countries that have already won this race in the past.
Well, Mark Donovan is being sent up the road here. Great Britain, of course, amongst that roster, the great Mark Cavendish, naturally enough, here as an ambassador. Good to see him on site and enjoying life. In fact, when it came to the men's junior race, we have, of course, got ourselves, Great Britain, a world champion already. Can Tom Pidcock do the job today? He's the sort of rider that could. He had questions about his own endurance, actually spoke long and loud about this. But then he went to the Welter, gets himself on the podium, finishes in third place, described it as the biggest win of his career. And he comes here amongst the favourites, Great Britain. Well, they indeed have many, many options. So here we are, getting a solid breakaway. In any other race, this would be impressive and possibly a danger, Brian, but with the distances we've got, it is something certainly to ponder, as is this genocide memorial here in Kigali. It is, of course, in remembrance of those who were taken from this earth in 1994 with the genocide against the Tutsi in this part of the world. And it serves as a reminder of just how dark life can get. It doesn't matter which part of the planet you are indeed hopefully enjoying your lives. Darkness can indeed wash over you, and it's how you recover from that. And I've got to say that Rwanda has done a fantastic job. They've been brilliantly welcoming. They have given us such joy. I'm not quite sure it's joyous for some of these guys, though. They are running out of steam. This is